On Thursday, June 15, during the match between Argentina and Australia held in Beijing, a fan ran onto the field, giving us all a surprise. I must say, this guy has guts. He saw Messi sprinting on the field and thought to himself, I want to try that. Then, he jumped off the stands, ran towards Messi as if his life was meant for this moment. I bet he was even more thrilled at that moment than Messi scoring a goal. Do you know, this fan, as he charged towards Messi, he was even faster than Messi scoring. Don't believe me, ask Messi, he was taken aback. In that moment, he was probably thinking, oh my god, is this my fan? He runs faster than me. This is the power of fans, capable of surprising even the best player in the world. Moreover, the fan's adventure didn't end there. After hugging Messi, he ran over and high-fived Argentina's goalkeeper Martinez. Do you know what that means? He was telling Martinez, I hugged Messi, you're next. That's the determination of fans, willing to risk being caught, just to have a touch with their idols. Eventually, the fan was taken away by security. But do you know what he was thinking? He was thinking, it was all worth it. Because he fulfilled his dream, he hugged his idol. That's the dream of all of us, isn't it? We all hope to have a touch with our idols, even if just once. So, let us pursue our dreams with the spirit of this fan. Just like he ran towards Messi, we can also run towards our goals. No matter what our goals are, we can achieve them. Just like that fan, as long as we have determination, we can do it. Hello everyone, I'm your news anchor, Yali. We provide a one-stop service of China news broadcast and talk show performance. I hope you can get your daily Chinese news in laughter and joy. This match was the first overseas game for the Argentina national team after winning last year's Qatar World Cup. Messi scored a goal 81 seconds into the game, setting a record for the fastest goal in his career. The match ended with Argentina winning Australia 2-0. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken announced the State Department's 2023 Human Trafficking Report, listing China, Afghanistan, and Russia as Tier 3 countries with the worst performance in combating human trafficking, and Taiwan as a Tier 1 country with the best performance. U.S. Senate Minority Leader McConnell stated that supporting Ukraine is not a distraction, it is fundamental to deter China. U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen believes attempting to decouple from China would be a huge mistake. She advocates reducing risks but not decoupling, and believes the IMF and the World Bank reflect American values, play a key balancing role, and that China does not qualify for World Bank loans. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs refutes, stating the World Bank does not belong to the United States. On the eve of U.S. Secretary of State Blinken's visit to China, the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee McConnell believes that the primary focus of the meeting between U.S. and Chinese diplomatic leaders should be on the situation in the Taiwan Strait. McConnell said that China's actions in the Pacific are quite aggressive, and reducing tensions in the Taiwan Strait is the top priority. The 100-year-old former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger said that if the tense situation between China and Taiwan continues in its current direction, it is very likely that military conflict will occur. Guo Wengui's appeal was denied, and a federal appeals court in Manhattan stated on June 14 that the Chinese businessman in exile in the U.S., Guo Wengui, should continue to wait for trial in prison. Guo has been detained in Brooklyn since his arrest in March, and federal prosecutors have accused him of fraud with more than $1 billion involved. On April 20, Guo's application for bail was rejected. The judge believed that if released, he is likely to flee and may pose a danger to the community, and could not guarantee that he would appear in court. Taiwan's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Wu Zhaoxie, and the Czech President, Pavel, were both invited to speak at a European think tank meeting where the Czech President urged European unity in supporting Taiwan. The President of Palau, an island nation in the Pacific, WIPS, reaffirmed its diplomatic relations with Taiwan and stated that Palau needs U.S. help to curb unwanted activities by Chinese vessels in its waters. China's position and influence in international politics are increasingly being challenged. Chinese spies within Japan's secret police have been harassing and threatening anti-communist Chinese individuals, leading Japan to arrest a Chinese researcher charged with illegally smuggling cutting-edge technology to Chinese enterprises. These incidents lead us to question whether the Chinese government is attempting to control and monitor its overseas anti-communist activists through various means. U.S., Japanese, and South Korean security officials met in Tokyo to discuss the tense situation in the Taiwan Strait and the South and East China Sea, as well as collaboration. A Japanese street artist was suspected to have been denied entry to Hong Kong for showing support for Hong Kong, and a Canadian executive at the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, resigned criticizing that AIIB is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. In response, the Canadian government announced it would cease relations with AIIB. China denies that the AIIB is controlled by the CCP. The European Commission has marked Huawei and ZTE as telecom suppliers posing a higher risk to EU security and announced that it would no longer rely on services from these two Chinese telecom companies. Who does the moon belong to? The US has won a space race, but new challenges are coming. China hopes to send astronauts to the moon in the near future. But, who does the moon truly belong to? The European Parliament passed a resolution in support of Hong Kong, urging the Hong Kong government to release the founder of the Next Media Group, Jimmy Lai, and others, and once again called on the EU Council to sanction the Hong Kong chief executive, Carrie Lam, and other Chinese and Hong Kong officials. China's actions in culture and investment fields are also being questioned and criticized by the international community. The Australian Federal Opposition Coalition has criticised an Australian football match, believing that the Australian Football Federation may be manipulated by the Chinese government, and the political relations between the two countries remain delicate. The political relationship between China and Australia is facing challenges, which will also affect the cooperation and exchange between the two countries. Frictions between China and India have been escalating recently. In the media field, both countries have zeroed out each other's journalists by not renewing their visas. In the IT industry, India has accused Xiaomi of illegally transferring funds overseas and demanded that Chinese mobile companies appoint Indian executives. The border issue between the two countries is yet to be settled. The anti-extradition song, "Glory to Hong Kong," has been subjected to a ban by the Hong Kong government, with the Hong Kong court hearing the case on July 21. However, various versions of the song have already been removed from iTunes Store, Spotify, KKBox, Facebook, and Instagram's Reels. Human rights lawyers suppressed in China's 709 crackdown continue to face expulsion by Chinese authorities. A woman named Yang Li from Changzhou, Jiangsu, and her mother were kidnapped by unidentified persons and taken back to Changzhou. These incidents give us a deep understanding that the suppression and persecution of human rights activists and dissidents by the Chinese government is ongoing. According to Reuters, the China Labor Bulletin has found that there have been over 140 strikes in factories across China in the first 5 months of this year, a 7-year high. Chinese society is changing, with people becoming more aware of their rights and interests. Data released by the Chinese authorities on Thursday, June 15, shows that the unemployment rate among young people aged 16 to 24 in China reached 20.8% in May, a new high. In addition, total retail sales of consumer goods, the Consumer Price Index, CPI, and exports all declined. China has seen 3 major phenomena this year: the highest number of college entrance exam takers since Mao Zedong's death, record unemployment rates, and a growing trend of young people choosing to lie flat, referring to a social phenomenon where young people refuse to participate in highly competitive jobs, often with long hours. The issue of youth unemployment in China is becoming increasingly serious, and this will have a profound impact on China's economy and society. Chinese Premier Li Qiang will visit Germany and France starting Sunday, June 18. Economists are skeptical about whether lowering interest rates can effectively stimulate China's economic growth and improve this year's global economic outlook. They point out that the Chinese government will need to do more to boost the confidence of businesses and consumers. Since China reopened earlier this year, several foreign entrepreneurs have visited, including Tim Cook and Elon Musk, but most have mainly met with government ministers. If Gates were to meet with Xi Jinping, it would be the first time in recent years that Xi has met with a foreign entrepreneur. This comes at a time when the foreign business community is becoming cautious about China, and China is trying to show a welcoming attitude towards foreign investment. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un wished Xi Jinping a happy birthday. Kim Jong-un said that under Xi Jinping's leadership, the authority of the Communist Party of China has greatly improved, and China's comprehensive national strength and international status have been unprecedentedly strengthened. He expressed hope that the General Secretary will lead the Communist Party of China, the People's Republic of China, and the Chinese nation, and achieve greater achievements and work with significant responsibilities. The Korean Central News Agency quoted Kim Jong-un as saying, Russian President Putin wished Chinese leader Xi Jinping a happy 70th birthday on June 15. Putin called Xi Jinping a dear friend, and highly praised his efforts in promoting the comprehensive partnership between Russia and China. Chinese leader Xi Jinping emphasized extreme thinking and extreme scenarios. Military experts warned that Xi Jinping's preparations for war and the People's Liberation Army's increasing bold provocations against the U.S. military are not accidental, but are aimed at testing the U.S. military's rules of engagement and will to expedite the process of reunifying Taiwan by force. That's today's news roundup. We hope you like it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. Take care.